Hello everyone, welcome to this session. Our topic is coordination. So this is our new topic so far. In our previous videos, we are discussing about the movement. We saw the movement in animals, specifically movement in humans. Then we will later on discuss the movement in plants. So today let's move on to the coordination. Now we'll start with the concept of coordination in organisms. So in this video, we'll specifically be talking about the concept of the coordination in organisms. So what do we mean when we say coordination? Coordination, this is simply is the working together of various organs of an organism in a systematic manner so as to produce a proper response to various stimuli. So various stimuli are just kind of situations that require attention to an organism. So coordination is just the working together of such various organs of the organism in a very systematic manner just to produce a proper response that is a proper responding to such stimuli. Now, without coordination, the body becomes disorderly and it may fail to function properly. So coordination is very important for the body of an organism. The coordination in simple multicellular animals takes place through the nervous system only. So the nervous system is the one that is responsible for the coordination in these simple multicellular animals. The control and the coordination in higher animals called the vertebrates, including the human beings, takes place through the nervous system as well as the hormonal system that is called the endocrine system. Now, the coordination in plants is under the control of the hormones. So the control of the hormones are the ones that are involved in the coordination of the plants. Now, all the living organisms here are talking about all the plants and animals, they respond and react to changes in the environment around them. Now, the changes in the environment to which the organisms respond or react are the ones that are called stimuli. Singular, you can say stimulus. Now, the living organisms, they show response to stimuli such as light, heat, cold, sound, smell, taste, touch, pressure, pain, water, and force of gravity, etc., etc. So all those such kind of changes in the environment that can bring up to various situations to the living organisms, they are called the stimuli. Now, the ability of perceiving or interpretation or responding to the stimuli is what we call the irritability or simply the sensitivity. Now, there are main two types of the stimuli, the external and the internal stimuli. When you talk about the external stimuli, these are associated with the surrounding environment, such as the wind, temperature, light, pressure, touch, water, and gravity. So all these, they're just external stimuli. While the internal stimuli, these occur within the organism. Take an example, an increase or just a decrease in the amount of water or glucose in the blood. All these are just the internal stimuli that can be experienced within the organism. Now, when the organism detects a stimulus, it initiates a response. So initiating of a response is just there because of detecting such kind of stimulus around such organism. Now, a response is a behavior, physiological, or muscular activity initiated by a stimulus. So that's what it means when we say a response related to the coordination. Is a behavior, physiological, or muscular activity initiated by stimulus. Now, for example, take an example, maybe if a man touches a very hot utensil accidentally, he quickly pulls his hand away from the hot utensil. Now, here heat is the stimulus and the man reacts or just responds by the moving of his hand away from the hot utensil. Now, similarly, when the sun is bright, we close our eyes. In this case, light is the stimulus and we react by closing our eyes. Now, likewise, when the amount of water in the blood drops, the pituitary gland secretes a antidiuretic hormone, that is ADH, which stimulates the reabsorption of water in the kidneys. Now, the multicellular organisms, they detect the stimuli through the sense organs, which are called as the receptors. So the receptors are the sense organs which are there for the multicellular organisms to detect the various stimuli. Now, a receptor is a sense organ. Take an example. Eye is just an example of a sense organ. Now, or a sensory nerve that is there ending, or just example in the skin or in the internal organ, which it receives the stimuli and sets nervous impulses. So that's what area this receptor does. Now, impulses, these are electrical transmissions or chemical stimuli that are sent from the receptor to the coordinating system in the organism. Now, the organs that respond to the stimuli are the what are called the effectors. An organism's organs that respond to such kind of stimuli are the what we call the effectors. Now, a coordinator is an organ. Take an example, the brain or the spinal cord, that it receives the message from the receptors, translates them, and sends the information back to the effector for the action. Now, an effector is just a muscle or a gland which it receives impulses from the nerves, brain, or spinal cord in response to them. Response, this is the end action, such as a muscle contraction to cause the movement of the arm. Now, here are just 5 components of the coordination in mammals, as we've discussed all of them in our previous slides. So here there's stimulus, that is the change in the environment that makes an organism to react to them. The receptor is the part of the organ or just part of an organism that detects the stimuli or the stimulus. And the coordinator, this is the controller of the one that receives such kind of stimulus and tells or just acts to such kind of stimulus. And effector, this is the organ or just part of an organism that receives the information from the coordinator on how it can respond to the given stimulus or the change of the environment. And the response, this is just the action or just the information that is there translated into the effector. I hope it's clear, guys. Thank you for listening. So far, we've briefly and we've discussed mainly about the concept of the coordination. We've seen the meaning of coordination and the various main components of the coordination in living things. Thank you.